All right, welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're tackling a totally universal and, let's be real, incredibly frustrating problem. You know the exact scenario I'm talking about. Rice is basically an absolute staple ingredient, right? Pretty much every household has a bag sitting in the pantry at this very moment. But man, so many of us have had that super unpleasant moment where you reach for some perfectly good rice and you see it. Bugs. Literally crawling around inside. It completely ruins the food, and honestly, it really doesn't make you feel great about your kitchen hygiene. So, in this explainer, we're going to uncover the actual reasons this happens, and way more importantly, how to stop it cold using some really effective modern storage methods.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. How in the world do bugs, weevils specifically, get into a brand new, totally sealed bag of rice? I mean, you just bought it. Your pantry is spotless. Well, good news first. It is not necessarily a dirty kitchen issue at all. Huge relief, right? But that definitely leaves us with a pretty big puzzle. If it's not about hygiene, what on earth is going on here? How is life just spontaneously appearing in your fresh groceries?
So we usually buy into this massive myth that adult weevils are, smelling the rice and somehow crawling in from the outside. But here is the shocking truth. Prepare yourself. The weevil eggs were probably already in the rice right from the manufacturing stage. Yeah, they were basically packed and shipped right along with your dinner. They're totally microscopic, they're completely dormant, and they are literally just waiting for the perfect environment to wake up. Which means even the most expensive, highest quality rice has the potential to turn into a pest problem if you don't store it the right way.
So, what actually wakes those dormant little eggs up? Well, the two main triggers are just heat and moisture. When those tiny invisible eggs are exposed to a warm, humid environment, which unfortunately is a spot-on description of most normal household kitchens, they start to incubate. They hatch, they start feeding on your grains, and boom, suddenly you have a full-blown infestation. Basically, without even realizing it, your kitchen is acting like a giant incubator.
And the crazy part is how our own everyday habits are actually pulling those triggers. Let's look at 4 super common mistakes almost everyone makes without a second thought. First up, pouring fresh, new rice directly over the old stuff in the exact same bin. Second, using containers that don't have a perfectly tight seal. Third, keeping your rice bin right next to the gas stove, which pumps out massive amounts of fluctuating heat. And lastly, just not washing out the container between batches. When we do these things, we are actively trapping old air, bringing in heat, and creating the ultimate moisture-rich paradise that those eggs are just dying for.
Right, so how do we stop this hatching process dead in its tracks? Let's walk through 5 really practical, proven fixes. Step 1. You absolutely have to use tightly sealed containers to completely block out the room's air and humidity. Step 2. Get that container away from the stove and out of any damp kitchen corners. Step 3. You can toss in natural deterrents like pandan leaves or dried chilies. Their strong odors actually disrupt the bugs. Step 4. This is a big one. Portion it out. Don't keep opening and closing a giant bulk bin every single day, because every time you pop that lid, fresh humid air rushes right in. Just keep a small stash for daily use. And step 5. If you buy in bulk for long-term storage, use your fridge. Cold temperatures are incredibly effective at keeping those eggs completely dormant.
Now, out of all those tricks, there is one absolute hero solution from our source material that competently claims your rice can be kept for years without a single weevil. I mean, years. So what's the secret? It is amazingly simple and practically free. Perfectly dry, tightly sealed 5-liter water bottles. Repurposing these plastic bottles is a real game changer because those screw-on caps create a flawless airtight seal, totally locking out moisture and oxygen. As long as you make sure that bottle is literally bone dry before pouring the grains in, this gives you unparalleled long-term protection. Actually, a super quick side note about those natural deterrents I mentioned a minute ago, the pandan leaves and chilies. These are strictly a short-term fix. While their intense smells definitely bother the weevils and slow them down temporarily, they aren't some magic silver bullet. If you're trying to store a huge batch of rice for several months, just tossing in a dried chili isn't going to cut it. For sure, you still need to rely on that airtight sealing and temperature control as your main line of defense.
But hey, let's say you're watching this right now, kind of panicking, thinking, oh man, it's too late, my rice is literally moving as we speak. Hang on, don't throw the whole bag in the trash just yet. Finding bugs does not automatically mean everything is ruined. In a lot of cases, if you catch it early enough, your rice is completely salvageable, which obviously saves you money and stops totally good food from going to waste.
So here is your exact step-by-step rescue plan. First, lay out the rice out flat in the sun. The intense heat and sunlight will quickly dry up the trapped moisture and send those bugs running for the hills. Second, just grab a sifter and physically strain out the adult weevils.
Third, and this is absolutely crucial, do not put it back into the old infested bin. Move your rescued rice into a brand new, clean, airtight container. And finally, do a quick safety check. If the rice smells weirdly musty or if the infestation was just totally out of control, then yeah, it's time to let it go. Pitch it. Or, if you happen to have backyard chickens, they will be absolutely thrilled with the free protein.
So, we've walked through the crazy hidden origins of these pests, the kitchen triggers that wake them up, and the incredibly simple, modern ways to keep your grains safe. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Which of these hidden mistakes is ruining your rice right now? Is it that unsealed bin? Or maybe you've been pouring fresh grains over the old ones? I challenge you to go check out your pantry today. Armed with this explainer, you're totally empowered to fix those habits, lock out the moisture, and guarantee your rice stays completely pest-free for as long as you need.